All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
G'day guys, Chaos Chronicles. All right, so we're back again with another video. And so in this video, instead of just answering one question, I thought I'd answer a few questions in one. And yeah, so before I do that, guys, if you guys haven't already subscribed, if you could jump down somewhere in that vicinity, hit that subscribe button. And if you smash that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my videos again. Next time I drop a video, you'll get a notification on whatever device you watch me on. And yeah, all right, well, let's get into it. So the first question is by a guy called, it's about 10 Z's and then a 9. And it says, question if you can answer in a video. I was born in India and came to Australia in 1985. Are there many South Asian Crims in prison? Do they get along with the rest of the population? And do they have their own gangs? Anything you want to share? Countries like India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, etc. All right. So I guess I'll start off by saying, like, probably like not many like I've never seen like an Indian crew or an Indian gang or whatever, like if that's what you wanted to know. But have I seen like Indian, Pakistani, or Sri Lankan prisoners in prison? Yeah, 100%. And as a matter of fact, now I don't know what it is. Now you might be able to explain this to me, but I don't get it. But a lot of Indians that I met in prison said that they were Fijian Indians. So they said that they were Indian, but they live in Fiji. And so, yeah, I kind of didn't get that. I'm like, are they Indian or are they Fijian? So we used to call them Findians. And yeah, but a lot of people used to say that. So I'd say, what's your background? What's your nationality? Are you an Indian? And they'd say, no, I'm an Indian, but we are from Sri Lanka. And I'd be like, oh, okay. I don't really understand that, but fair enough. But, you know, I have seen some pretty crazy Indian prisoners in prison. But yeah, like it's kind of a bit of a rarity. And especially in maximum security prisons, like I never really seen any Indians or South Asians as you called them. The Indians that I did meet generally get along with most people, and yeah, I don't think they have a clique that they tend to hang around with. But even someone wrote here an answer to this question and said there ain't many in Sydney prisons. Probably one of the least represented ethnicities in the New South Wales prisons. And so that was Michael Mitzi that said that. And so I will agree that, yeah, it is probably one of the least represented ethnicities in the Victorian prison system as well. But yeah, like I have met a few people from South Asia or Indian, whatever you want to say. I don't want to be racist, but like that's what you said in your question. But and I did meet a fair few of them that would go on with it. So yeah, well there you go. All right. So next question. Whoa, get out of that. G'day Biff. This is by the Hairy Man. So it says, G'day Biff, were you locked up during the riots? If so, can you go into greater detail? So I was locked up during the riots, but I was at Port Phillip and I was in Scarborough South at the time. And yeah, I remember it. I remember like it was getting pretty hectic. Like they stopped selling smokes a month before they done the smoking ban. So like the whole like non-smoking effect had like already taken place, and like so people were already charging by the time the ban had taken place. Like pouches at that time were already at like $500 per pouch, and yeah, so like And then the riots kicked off on the news, and they very very quickly swiftly locked down the whole prison at Port Phillip. So the whole time while the riots were going on, any single prison that was anywhere in Victoria was getting locked down until them riots were finished. So yeah, all prisons in Victoria were locked down, and then yeah, a lot of like that changed prison forever. And although I wasn't a part of that riot, there was riots at Port Phillip that you probably don't even know about. That was just like a 1 unit riot at Port Phillip in Scarborough South, and so that was a full on one. And yeah, that was actually pretty full on. And so what was really funny about that is they said, look, use get a representative and you send them out, and we'll send that representative back with messages. So we picked one guy as a representative to go out there and speak to him, and they just kicked the absolute fucking shit out of this guy. And yeah, so we didn't send another representative after that one. All right, so next video. All right. So, do people use the dreaded as a weapon? So, what is the dreaded? So, like the dreaded is AIDS. So, everyone in prison calls it the dreaded. And yeah, it is. What is that? It is AIDS. And so, like, yeah, nah, no one uses that as a weapon. Pretty much, if someone is found out that they have HIV or AIDS in the yard, like, they're pretty much going to be feeling pretty uncomfortable. And like, I won't say the person's first name, but like, if anyone done jail in the 2000s, they know of someone with the last name Hart that was a known like AIDS or HIV patient. And what was crazy is it used to blow my mind. Like, I was in Scarb South with this guy when I was younger, and what used to spin me out is like everybody knew that this guy had AIDS, right? But this guy was on some pretty hectic medications that are like pretty highly trafficable medications, you know? And so this particular guy was on a lot of them, and like people used to, so he used to divert his medication. There was a time when this person was on Suboxone, and like people used to get the bupe off this guy, and I just used to think, how fucking desperate can you be for a fix that you're gonna get Suboxone that's come out of somebody's mouth? Like, you know that this has come out of somebody's mouth, and so like you know that, like, yeah, and then that they've got AIDS, and like this person was on some pretty good benzos as well, and people used to get them off him, and I used to just think, fuck that. Like, I am never in a position where I want to get high that bad that I am going to risk getting fucking AIDS. Like, no, thank you at all. But yeah, like, nah. So people don't use it as a weapon. I remember back in like, yeah, the early 2000s, they tried to make AIDS and HIV unit at Loddon, and yeah, it did take place, but like very soon, like the goody goodies got onto it and all the papers and stuff, and said that it was treating the people who had HIV differently than other prisoners, and they shouldn't be treated different, so that one got shut down. But it's pretty scary. Like, I've made videos before about how easy it is to catch bloodborne viruses in prison, right? So, like, most prisons have a barber or a hair cutter or something like that, a hairdresser. And, like, it's as easy as getting your head shaved. You can get your head shaved, and the person before you had HIV. And if that person didn't clean them clippers good enough, and then you cut your head, well, guess what? You're getting HIV as well. And then not only that, like, they let you borrow like boxing gloves and boxing equipment, and like, it's absolutely gross. You couldn't There isn't an amount of money that you could pay me that would make me put my hand inside a prison boxing glove without 75 pairs of rubber gloves on before I did that. Like, yeah, absolutely 100%. Like, Yeah, if someone did use the dreaded as like AIDS as a weapon in prison, like they're gonna get taken out, like one way or another. There's people that wouldn't care about that, and like, would take the chances and would absolutely take that person out. But it's the same also. Like, I know of people coming into prison and like doing armed robberies with blood filled syringes, and then people, you know, getting their foreheads tap danced on as soon as they rocked up in the yard. It's seen as a putrid crime. It's the same as seen as bag snatching or robbing old ladies and stuff like that. It's just a putrid fucking crime, and anyone who's been a real crook is never ever ever going to stand for that shit. Yeah. All right. And so yeah. Do a video on epilepsy. What triggers them? How often do they occur? Do the different medications you have been on and how they help or not, specifically with negative side effects. So I guess my type of seizures are tonic-clonic seizures. So like the general run of the mill flashing lights and stuff like that. Even some fluorescent lights, like even this light here, if you can notice, it kind of flickers a little bit. I try and fix it by the time I edit the video, but like even that sometimes makes me like twitch a little bit. Even like driving on the highway and like headlights coming from the other side of the freeway, flickering past those, the wires on the side of highways, and like even that is enough to set it off. And yeah, I've been on many many different medications for it, and it's very 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 hard to get the right medication that you need for epilepsy whilst you are in prison. So most medications for epilepsies, like the good ones anyway, are benzos, and so it's pretty hard to get on that. I've had a fair few seizures in prisons. I've actually had a few seizures where I've wet myself in prison, and it's pretty horrible, and it makes you feel very embarrassed. And not only that, makes me feel very vulnerable, and I thought, like, fuck, like if I wanted to get one of my enemies, like, what a better time to get them when they're on the ground and having a fit. So like, it used to trip me out, and I used to think like, fuck, I hope no one tries to take me out while I'm having a seizure. Yeah. Well, there you go. That was somebody else's idea. They said, why don't you chuck a few questions in the one instead of just answering one at a time? So I did that this time. And yeah, so also I'll just chuck in. So we went live last night. So yeah, if you do see notifications of me going live, please jump in and join the chat. It was awesome. So we're probably going to be going live again on Thursday. So yeah, we'll try and go live on some like Mondays and Thursdays. It was a pretty good live, and yeah, it's something that I'm going to continue to do. So if you see a notification of me going live, please drop in, say good day, have a chat, and yeah, so much good things happening on this page. So we've got the new interview dropping this week. What else? So we're about to film some new interviews actually also, and yeah, and then we've got my other new situation that I explained a lot more on my live last night. So if you guys want to know about, I'll give more and more secrets about my new deal, right up until the point where I sign it. So but yeah, I'm not going to give anything away because like I'm a firm believer that certain creators were copying my content. But also, a few people joined the live last night and were trying to get me to run down other creators and that do the same what I do, talk about prison or whatnot. And yeah, I just want to let you guys, I ain't interested in fucking none of that. So I'm not here to badmouth anyone. I'm not here to run anyone down that's tried to change their life and trying to do better and whatnot. So yeah, few people actually tried to do that last night, but yeah, just like to let you know, I'll never fall into that bullshit. I'm an expert at this shit. And yeah, you're not gonna troll me into saying things that I don't want to say. I've been doing social media for a long time now, so yeah, please don't come in and do that. It's just not going to happen. I'm not gonna sit there and run down any other creators. But yeah, all right. Well, I will leave it there, guys. If you guys haven't already subscribed, like I said at the start of the video, jump down somewhere in that vicinity and hit that subscribe button. And if you hit that little bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. All right, don't do drugs and crime and you won't end up in prison. We out.